So can anyone found any kind of error here during the append operations? File star F1 char C. The program will not show any kind of error, but the writing on this Sanjay new has not been done, or the adding on this file Sanjay new has not been done.
So percentage C will take the two characters also. Now it also take also one character. So percentage C.
One character.
Yes.
The for loop is
maybe
running
sir,
for 30 characters, so 30 characters it will maximum take.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
You
Maybe
didn't
the
give,
percentage
sir.
case will be beneficial here.
I'm
Sir, you
saying
didn't
that
give book, sir.
maybe we should have to write both, write and append both.
Write and append both. Why? Because this file has been already created. This file already exists.
Sir, I think you didn't give a location. That's why.
Oh, acha, 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 acha. I just forget to. Actually, last class I have shown you here. I didn't. I
Yes,
just
sir. Yes, sir.
remove it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That is the problem. That's why I didn't
Your
find
program
any.
is in the E file. Your program
Yes,
is in
yes.
the E drive. That's why it's not showing.
Yes, 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 yes.
Program is in E drive.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I have added this extra content that I want to see whether it is reflected as adding content or not. Yes. Okay. Okay. It is. It doesn't take Jisu. Why? Because I have run the for loop for 30 characters. Okay. So you can instead of taking the input in the form of characters with for loop, you can also take the input in the form of percentage. Okay, it's your choice, right? It's your choice how much you will take. So understood how the append mode is working. Is all this mode clear to you? I want to know these things. Is all read mode, write mode, append mode, is it clear
Yes,
to you?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose, okay, tell me, any one of you can tell me. Suppose I want to, whatever operation I performed in front of you by using this append mode. Now I want to read the file of the same file inside the same program, read the same file and show its content as an output window. And I don't want to go there and check the content in this way. I want to read that file here inside the code and show the content. What should I do first? Tell me. What will be the first line?
First of all, close the append file.
Yes. What?
Yeah. First of all, close the open file that we
Yes.
have opened.
Yes.
And,
That is very important. We have to first close the last file pointer, which actually point to this file, because we are changing the mode right now. In the last class, we have in the last case we have already done this. Okay, not this one. This one. Okay, because we are changing the mode from write mode to read mode. Whenever we are changing, it may be the file, maybe the similar one, but whenever we are changing the modes, then we'll have to close the pointers associated with the previous mode, and then we'll have to open the same pointer for the new mode, right? That things we have to remember. So we have to first close this pointer F1. Now we have to open the pointers. Okay, you can use the same pointer name or you can use a different pointer name. Then you have to define the another pointer separately here. It's your choice, right? If we use another pointer here, then you don't need to close it. Okay. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you are using two separate pointers, one pointer for the file to open in append mode, another pointer we are using to open the file in suppose read mode, then we don't need to do this fclose operation here. You need to do the fclose operation at the end of it. But here I'm using the same pointer. I don't want to waste another memory space to create one more pointer. So that's why I'm using the same pointer for doing both the operations. Understand? Is it understood? Do you understand it? What I'm trying to
yes, sir,
say?
yes, sir.
So we will
Yes.
do the read operations. So just copy this code, and again open this file pointer, changing the name of the file pointer as F1, and the file from where we are reading is similar. Okay, correct. You can write this. It's optional, but I suggest that everyone should write, because it may be a failure of existing file. Then sometimes the file may be corrupted. So in that case, it will show this error, right? And this one should be F1, and this one also should be F1, and I think that's all. Is there anything that I need to do here? What do you suggest? Is it correct? Is it okay? Run this code. I'm appending some more information here. I didn't count the 30 characters. How much character it will take? I don't mind. Okay, look, it is entirely the new content. This is the old content of the file. These are the two new contents I have added with my file. Okay, clear? Everyone clear? How we can handle, how we can play with the file reading, writing operations. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, I hope that whatever project I have assigned today, you can, in some of the projects, there is a file handling concept you need to use. So I hope that now you are able to perform that project very easily. Okay, if we have the concept of this file handling. So any program in the examination can be given, and they may ask you to solve that program with the help of file handling. Just like the factorial, they may give a Fibonacci series. Suppose they may ask you to take one number from input file, and based on that number you will have to print the Fibonacci series as per the range, but you will consider that number as a range of the Fibonacci series, so you can apply the logic of the Fibonacci series there. Okay, so any kind of program can be executed with the help of files. Okay, now this is the program which I want to show you. Due to a shortage amount of time, I couldn't show you during the pointer class. This is a program where I actually performing a bubble sort, a sorting of a series of number in ascending order with the help of pointers. Okay, so bubble sort you have already done. If you remember, the bubble sort is generally divided into two concepts. The first concept is that we'll have to create multiple passes. We'll have to create multiple passes, and each and every pass will require a comparison between two numbers. If a comparison between two numbers is successful, that means successful means, suppose in case of ascending order sorting, the first number should be less than the second number. That is in case of ascending order. So if in any case, in anyhow, the first number is greater than the second number, then the exchanging or swapping operations should perform. Okay, so we compared any pair of numbers that has been given as the input of the array on which we actually applying our bubble sort, and when we are comparing those two numbers, we will check whether if we are performing ascending order sorting, then we will check whether the first number is greater than the second number or not. If the first number is greater than the second number, then the swapping operations will perform, or you can say the exchanging operations will perform. Otherwise, no operations or no change will be performed. This is the overall logic of the bubble sort, and at the end of each and every pass, the largest number will be placed at the right hand side of the array, okay, of the output array. So at the end of the first pass, you will found that the largest number of the array, the most largest number of that input array, will be placed at the n-1th location of the bubble of the array, right, of the output array. At the end of the second pass, you will see that the second largest number will be placed at the n-2 position of the output array. Then at the end of the third pass, you will face that the third largest number of the input array will be placed at the n minus 3 position of your output array. So in this way, at the end of the last pass, then the last number will be placed at the 0th location. The lowest number will be placed at the 0th location. That is the overall logic of the bubble sort. Those who have forget, just I make a repetition or make a remembering of how the bubble sort is working. Now I am applying the same concepts here in the form of pointers. That is the only logic. So this is the main method. In the main method, I have declared one array whose maximum size is 10. Then I have read that array with the help of the for loop and scanf statement. It's an integer array for sake of simplicity. And as you know, I have already told you that during the function call, we actually pass the array name, okay, as a input, and the array size, okay, as a second input. So you can also interchange it. That is not a problem. So you can pass this add as the first parameter of this user defined function and n as a second parameter, or vice versa. Okay. So in which order you are passing here, you have to maintain the similar order. You have to maintain the similar order here while you receiving or defining the function. That you have to remember. That you have to do very carefully. Okay. So here I have defined the function as void sort. Okay, the sort function. I didn't use a return type here for sake of simplicity. I didn't use any return type, so I have printed the value here directly within the function directly. Okay, so void sort. So this is the size of the array, and here I am using the pointer. Why? So if you remember, I have told that while I am passing add, okay, that means we are passing the array. That means we are passing the address of the first character of the array. We are passing the address of the first character of the array, or first number of the array. That means 0th location number. Okay, so if we want to change the position, or if you want to read the next number of the array, we will just do ptr plus plus. That means ptr plus 1. Then it will change the address position of the array from its previous number to the next number. That I have already shown to you how we can handle arrays with the help of pointers, right? So this star ptr is actually holding the address of the array. Okay, the first element of the array, or the first number of the array array, right? Now within this, we'll declare the three local variables, integer type I, J, T. Those variables are generally, this I and J are used for the looping variable, because if you remember, I have already discussed there are two loops. One loop is using to handle or control the passes, number of passes, and another loop in bubble sort is using to control the number of comparisons. Okay, so two loops are required. That's why the complexity of the bubble sort. What is the complexity of the bubble sort? I have told
N square.
n square, big of n square. Why? Because the first loop is running up to n
Two
times,
loops, yeah.
and within that n times, the second loop, the inner loop, is also running n times. So n into n, n square. Okay, so big of n square is the time complexity, or case time complexity, you can say, of the bubble sort, right? So I and j is used for the two looping variables, and t is used for the temporary variable for doing swapping operations, right? So what we are going to swap here, we are using pointers, but by the help of dereferencing of the pointers, we are trying to swap the values. We cannot swap the addresses. Okay, we cannot swap the addresses. We have to swap the value at that address, and that we can achieve only by doing dereferencing. That I already discussed. So this is the first loop for I equal to 0 to less than n. This is the second loop for j equal to I plus 1 to less than n. So you can understand. So if I is 0, then the j will be the next element. 0 plus 1 means 1. So the first case, if add is 0, the next one is add of 1. So these two are compared. So within the inner for loop, we will use this dereferencing of the pointer. That means ptr plus j less than, if ptr plus j less than start ptr plus I. Okay, so what is j? J is actually I plus 1. So ptr plus 1. So ptr pointing to which element? Ptr pointing to the first element of the array. That means 0th element. And ptr plus 1 is pointing to which element? That just next to the 0th element. That means 1th element, first element. So this element, this is actually representing the second element of the array. That means the 1th element. Okay, add of 1. And this will represent the zeroth element. Okay, you can interchange these two things. Okay, it's your choice. So the first element, so this is actually second element. So if the second element is less than the first element, if the second element is less than the first element, so it should not happen. Always the first element should be less than the second element, or the second element should be greater than the first element. So this condition occurs. Okay, then we will require to do the swapping operation or interchanging operation or exchanging operation. So exchanging these two elements, PTR plus J, star PTR plus J and star PTR plus I, very simple. And we are exchanging the values at address. So that's why we have to use the dereferencing during the exchange operation. We cannot use only PTR plus J and PTR plus I. Okay, this is totally insane because that is actually exchanging the address instead of value. So obviously we will see as the output will see the address instead of value. Okay, but here we are concerning about the value at address, right? So by the help of simple temporary variable t, we are able to exchange this PTR plus I first into t. Right now the position of the PTR plus I is empty because the value has been already transferred in temporary variable t. So that's why the PTR plus J value will be stored into PTR plus I by using assignment operation. And right now PTR plus J is empty. So the old value, the previous value of temporary variable will be again stored into PTS plus J or again transfer into PTS plus J. So in this way, the two value has been successfully exchanged with the help of this dereferencing operation. Okay, and at the end, we will simply run the for loop and print the values of the arrays. Okay, so if you remember in the last class of the pointer, I have shown that with the help of scanf we can read array. How we can read array? We can do just PTR plus I. Okay, in the scanf we will do ampersand PTR plus I. During the read operation, we didn't use the dereferencing. Why we didn't use the dereferencing during the read operation? Because read operation depends on the address because we are using ampersand. So ampersand is nothing but an address. So in case of array, we didn't use ampersand. So PTR plus I itself representing the address. Okay, so that's why in case of scanf operation, we will use only PTR plus I. Because at that particular address, whatever value we are inserting through your console at runtime with the help of terminal or keyboard, that value will be stored into the corresponding address of that PTR plus I. But in case of printing the array, we'll have to use star. Why? Because we want to execute the value at address of those array. We are not interested to execute the addresses. Okay, so that's why we will use dereferencing star PTR plus I. So we'll execute this code, enter the elements of the array 5, 9, 1, 7. Okay, so after the sorting, it will look like this 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So sorting is successfully done. Clear? Is this concept clear to everyone? If anyone has any doubt, you can ask me. Is it clear to everyone? Is anyone has any doubt?
Yes, sir.
This program is very important. If you understand this program, I hope that you are able to apply the pointer concepts in any program. Okay, because here I have passed the address in terms of array. So you have to just remember this thing here, that how we can pass the array. Okay, we should not pass ampersand ARR. Array will not pass in such an order that we have actually passed in case of normal variables. Because while we are passing normal variables, we are passing the address of the normal variables that we have received with the help of pointer variable at the time of definition. Okay, so that's why we have used ampersand, then followed by the variable name. But here, while we are passing array or any kind of array, we should not use the ampersand because the name of the array is itself represent the address of the first element of the array. So I shall stop the discussion here for today. Tomorrow we have a lab. In that lab, I used to discuss with, I used to give you the assignments on pointers. Okay.